Let's watch the Republican candidate for Senate in Arizona, Kari speak with CNN host Kaitlan, who quickly backs her into a corner over her shifting her abortion positions, claiming that she won her race for governor, the multitude of lies that she likes to spew. So I've got them lined up and we'll knock them out one by one.
Did you lose the 2022 election for governor?
Why are we looking backward? I'm looking forward, Kaitlan.
Because
I already
you've
know
yet to
what you're
concede that race.
Kaitlan, I'm looking forward to what is coming up. I'm looking forward to November 5th and this huge election. And the people of our state are caring about what's coming up, what's going forward. How are we going to make sure we secure the border? What can we as Republicans do to make sure we bring back that thriving economy where we had record low unemployment?
So you're not going to say whether or not you lost the 2022 race. Is that what I'm hearing?
You know what, Kaitlan? You've seen thousands of interviews from me. I've answered that a million times. I'm looking forward.
You've actually yet to answer the question directly on whether you believe that you did lose the election.
Well, I want to make sure our elections are run properly, and I'm still in litigation, so I don't want to speak to that, but I do want to look forward. And it's so funny that the media, Kaitlan, hold up.
I mean, yes, if you refuse to concede an election that you clearly lost, something that is a new phenomenon in politics for Republicans, why would the media not report on it, especially if you're then running again after refusing to concede your last election? You threaten the democratic integrity, the credibility that is instilled into our elections, and the media has an obligation to not only point this out at every single chance, but to expose how unable you are to actually defend that position with substantial evidence. One more thing that I want to point out for anyone who comes across someone that's convinced that Democrats rigged the 2020 election, if they can rig elections, and they did in 2020, why didn't they rig a 60-seat majority in the Senate and a majority in the House to where they can then pass whatever they want? Why didn't they rig the elections in 2022 to keep the House, to further their Senate majority? They only rigged the presidency. Why? Can anyone in MAGA explain this?
Do you think people care if you're willing to accept the results of an election that was free and fair and that you filed multiple lawsuits that have not gone anywhere? And I should note, a defamation lawsuit that was filed against you, you did not contest it, from a top Arizona election official that says you lied about him repeatedly.
Well, I think what you meant to ask is Kari, things are really tough right now. And I know that people that are watching.
These are the questions I meant to ask with all due respect. I'm conducting this interview, but you're not answering those questions. And if that's your answer, that's fine. I just wanted to follow up on that.
I think what you meant to ask is how can we get through this difficult time where people are pouring across our border?
She's so unable to answer this question. It's pretty hilarious. This is how it is for all the election denial clowns. They've lost multiple court cases where you can't present any evidence to back up anything that you're saying. Then you're forced to admit you lied in court. She isn't contesting a lawsuit that says she lied, effectively admitting that she did. Rudy Giuliani outright admitted that he lied, then said it was his First Amendment right. And then you move on to saying things like, well, the courts are corrupt and the judges are Democrats and everyone is in on this conspiracy. And with the current, IQ level and mind state of MAGA, for some reason that gives you credibility among them, even without a shred of evidence.
As you know, of course, abortions over 21 weeks are very uncommon. It's about 1% of all abortions in the U.S. But I ask, given your stance on this has been so fascinating, it's shifted quite a bit. You first praised the 1864 law that banned nearly all abortions in Arizona. It was ultimately repealed by the state legislature there, but you then had denounced that law. I just wonder what you would say to voters in Arizona who see your changes on an issue from that severe of a position to someone saying that's someone maybe who's willing to say anything just to get elected on this issue.
Well, no, it's just that I know what office I'm running for. I'm running for a federal office. This has been sent back to the state. And while I appreciate that you're concerned and about this, I know many women are concerned about it. I'm a woman. I have a daughter. I came from a family of 8 girls, so I understand the issue of women. I want to make sure that women have options and affordable health care. And women do care about this, but they also care about being able to afford groceries.
The instant topic change here is pretty wild. First off, women as do most groups of any kind of people, care about their healthcare and their ability to get necessary treatments, oftentimes life-saving treatments. And when women see Roe v. Wade get overturned and it lead to other women bleeding out in parking lots, dying from sepsis, becoming infertile, refuse treatments that would save their life just because of how the law can be interpreted, they're going to care about this, obviously. Like if black people lost their healthcare rights, or if white people lost their healthcare rights, or if men lost their healthcare rights. And what the Republican Party is trying to do now is trying to moderate their messaging on the issue so it doesn't hurt them as much during this campaign, but the damage is done. We've seen what Republicans will do when the power is in their hands, and it's horrendous, right? And it's also something that they will try on a federal level if ever given the opportunity, because the second they got the opportunity at the state level, they tried it. So sure, women do care about inflation, grocery prices, about other issues, but how much do these issues matter to them when they're bleeding out in a parking lot? It's pretty simple, and Kari can do whatever mental gymnastics that she wants to try in this campaign. We all saw her defend a pre-Civil War era law. We all saw her come out and crack down as this super pro-life candidate and then moderate her stance just in hopes it'll get her elected. And rightfully so, women will not forget that. The same way they will not forget or forgive Trump. And that is one major issue they will be voting on come November 5th.